Hello, once again, this is Indie Wrestling Q&A. My name is Jason Hevel with your guest, Pat Anthony. How long have you been in the wrestling business?
I've been in the wrestling business for going on, it's my third year now. I was trained by Skull down in Sykesville, Maryland. We ended up buying a ring, and he ended up getting trained by Ruckus, and here I am 3 years later. Just trying to make my name in the wrestling business, bud.
So who's your biggest influences?
Biggest influence probably had to be Derek Frazier, Ruckus, and definitely Christian York. I grew up indie wrestling fan, and those were my big three guys growing up. I honestly followed more indie wrestling than I did any of the mainstream wrestling. So yeah, those are my biggest influences.
What other federations have you seen? Have you wrestled for?
I've been doing here for MWF, done Real Championship Wrestling. Out western Pennsylvania, I've done Adrenaline Championship Wrestling, which has started actually here in Annapolis, Maryland. Also, Undisputed Championship Wrestling, that's based out of Uniontown, Pennsylvania. Just trying to make my way. I would like to get up to New York eventually, at some point, and try to work my way through some of the circuits out there.
So what has been your most physical match you've competed in?
Most physical match? I definitely had to say there was this match in Undisputed Championship Wrestling. It was called the Skywalkers match. You had these poles, you had to scale the poles and then grab the belts in the middle. That was a very punishing match. I had a trouble walking for the next couple days there. It was a good time though. But singles match is probably my most physical match. Probably be against Ruckus last November at Real Championship Wrestling. One of my favorite matches.
So, have you won any titles in your career?
I have not won any titles. Had a few title shots. I've come up short though, but the future's looking bright. So hopefully get a few straps here coming up in the future.
So, how did you think of your character?
I've always thought of myself as an outgoing, like Hollywood kind of character. So I thought I'd do the whole star thing. I mean, it's kind of basic right now, but I think it's working good for me so far. I started out as a heel, and they like me so much as a heel that it got me over as a face. So that's what I'm trying to do so far.
So who's some of your favorite talents you have worked with?
Favorite talent I've worked with was probably Ruckus. Ruckus he's great. I mean, you saw at MWF tonight when he put on a great match with Skull. And I always like working with Skull too. I mean, he's my trainer. Always worked really fluent with him. Worked with Robbie Marino. Enjoyed working with Robbie Marino in RCW. And that's pretty much it. I really want to work TJ Sykes. He's upcoming in RCW. Really like to get in the ring with him. He runs SWA. That's in Susquehanna Wrestling Alliance. I don't know if you ever heard of that. That's based out of Pennsylvania or West Virginia, somewhere in there. I'd like to try to get in the ring with him.
So who would be your dream opponent, if there's anybody?
Dream opponent? Let's see here. Are we talking indie? Are we talking WWE?
If you could get anybody in the ring.
Probably be Shawn Michaels. I'd love to work Shawn Michaels, but he's retired now. But if I could work Shawn Michaels, that would be it for me. But I'd like to also work Randy Orton. I always like Randy Orton's slow, kind of physical style. But I also like to work Christian York. I've always been a big Christian York fan. So if I ever get a chance to work you, Christian, Pat Anthony's coming for you.
So what is your favorite kind of matches to compete in?
Favorite kind of matches? I like high risk match. I don't usually do a lot of high risk stuff, but I like the excitement of high risk matches, ladder matches, like the Skywalkers match I was talking about. And my dream has always been to do a steel cage match too. I've always wanted to do a steel cage match. Hopefully that'll come down Sunday or along the line.
So is there anybody on wrestling today that reminds you of you?
Probably The Rock. I think I remind myself of kind of the heel Rock kind of character. How he was doing the whole Hollywood thing kind of better than everybody else. But then I got him over, so well, he ended up turning face anyways again. So kind of like to try to base myself off that a little bit. I think I do pretty good on the microphone.
So what do you do outside of the ring?
Outside of the ring, I'm a restaurant manager in Westminster, Maryland. I do that, and a couple students who me and Skull have trained actually work there at the restaurant. It's a pizza. But also was a student in college, so also do some sports broadcasting here and there. I started out actually as an announcer for Adrenaline Championship Wrestling that's based out of Annapolis, and once I got trained, I ended up working for them as a wrestler.
So if you had any advice for somebody who's wrestling, what would they be?
It's tough at first. The training's tough. I lost 65 pounds training. The training can be very tough, and it hurts. And I know a lot of people say it's fake, but it hurts. It definitely does. Just keep pushing. Just keep pushing for that next level. You know?
So in your opinion, who's the better roster, WWE, TNA, or Ring of Honor?
I mean, I'd definitely have to go with Ring of Honor. Definitely. I mean, you just can't mess with the Briscoes. I'm a huge fan of the Unbreakable Michael Elgin. Kevin Steen, I've always been a big fan of Kevin Steen. I think he's kind of the anti-worker in the wrestling business. He's a great worker. He doesn't have quite that look, you know what I'm talking about? Oh yeah, Ring of Honor is definitely one of the best out there.
So do you follow any other sports?
Oh yeah, big Ravens fan. I'm definitely a big Ravens fan, big hockey fan too. Big Capitals fan. Grew up in DC and then moved to Baltimore. So never really got into the Redskins, but I'm a big Ravens and Capitals fan.
So how did you think of your theme music?
My theme music, it's Stick 'Em Up by Quarashi. Heard that song? It was on the Orange County soundtrack. It's just heavy, like rock and roll kind of rap beat. That was always one of my favorite songs, and I always thought it would be a good entrance song.
So if they made a movie about Pat Anthony, who would play you and what would the title be?
Oh man, you're good with these questions, man. Let's see here. It's got to be someone Asian. I mean, I'm Filipino,
Ken
so
Jeong.
Ken Jeong. Now, that would be if it was a comedy. Let's see here. Honestly, I have to get back to you. I'm not really sure. There's not really many Asian American actors. Kind of few and far
Jackie
between.
Chan, Donnie Yen.
Well, they're Chinese, so it's kind of...
Asian American, Jet Li.
Jet Li, I'd have to go with Jet Li. If he bulked up a little bit. I'm not the bulkiest guy in the world. But,
What would the title be?
I'd have to go with Mr. Popularity, just like it is on my shirt. Or maybe you like this, or Mark Zuckerberg might get a little mad about that because I stole his trademark.
Alright, so this concludes the interview with Pat Anthony. Once again, this is Indie Wrestling Q&A. Check me out on YouTube and also like my page on Facebook.